Good afternoon, everybody. So we are reaching towards the end of the show. Well, my timer has started. So firstly, I know I can't see you, but probably if I can have a show of hands from all those whose parents have helped you cycle. Okay, cool. Have helped you swim or walk. Yeah, almost all of you. Securely, safely, right? So now may I have a show of hands from all those of you who have helped your parents or grandparents and you have told them about the trending cyber crimes and you have made them safe. Can I have a show of hands? No? Very few. Well, like the others who didn't raise their hands, I'm also one of them, and my son is also one of them. So let me share an incident with you that just happened last Saturday. You know, I was very busy with the client on a very, very long call, and I was walking in the living room, and my dad was sitting there. He was also struggling with his phone. He was taking instructions from somebody. He indicated twice to me, come and help me, and I said, like, wait. You know, I made certain gestures to him that I'm pretty busy right now with a client. I'll do it later on. 15 minutes the call went on. He was also speaking and struggling. Then, you know, I saw he getting very hassled, and I disconnected my call, and I went over there, and I said, what is it? And then he showed it to me. He said, there is some person who's telling me to download this app, and he's already downloaded. I was shocked. I was literally shocked because I saw a remote access app on his mobile phone. The man was live on the other call. And I was very angry. I told my dad, what are you doing? And probably that guy heard it. I spoke to that fellow. I said, "Kaun bol raha hai?" He said, "Tera baap." I wasn't surprised. You know, because as a cybercrime investigator, I hear much worse words. I mean, you know, I get to hear such dirty abuses also, almost on a daily life. I decided to put the phone on the speaker so that my dad could hear whom he was taking instructions from. And that man was continuously hurling abuses at me. All such melodious words he used, which of course, you know, during the college days we use it, and sometimes now also. So my dad had received an SMS saying that the phone will be, you know, the SIM card would get deactivated if you don't call on this number right away. He panicked, just like any other senior citizen would do. He panicked, he called up, he started taking instructions, and this would have led to a disaster. A disaster of losing all the lifelong savings of my father, because these are remote access apps, which I will talk to you very shortly. My dad was numb for a few hours, of course, because he was just thinking, what would have happened today? But he was very happy. But I wasn't. He was happy because, you know, all the money was saved, loads of them. But I wasn't happy. I was quite sad. No, not because, you know, my father wasn't giving me some money from all the money that I saved. He didn't want to give me. But I was sad because I was thinking, the father of a well-known cybercrime investigator was going to lose all the money today? No, I was not even sad that, okay, you know, how come I go and talk about cybercrimes, I create awareness on cybercrimes, and what would have happened today if he would have lost all the money? I was actually very sad because I failed that day. I failed to create awareness at my own home, with my own parents. My son also failed because this fellow, just like you all, proudly you introduce so much of technologies to the senior citizens, but nobody talks about safety. So it's just not me who's failed. Yeah, I felt very guilty also. Since that day, I've been feeling guilty. And I really thank CNMS for this opportunity that I'm going to be talking about, you know, bridging this digital generation gap in the cyber security world. We heard about the privacy, we heard about the inclusiveness from Siddhant, but there's a lot more that we need to do. Not just me, World over, millions of senior citizens are losing their money because we, you and I, and all these others are not helping them to be in the cyber safe, that too very securely. Why are we doing this? Maybe because we have no time. Maybe because we feel frustrated teaching them. But did they get frustrated when they had to teach us to cycle, to swim, and that too with so much of safety? Then what's going wrong with us? Let me tell you about 5 trending cybercrime cases that are literally happening. 5 trending cyber scams. I would have loved to show it to you on the PPT, but unfortunately, it's not happening over there, okay? First, I would say the card scams. A senior citizen, almost 73-year-old, he came to me and he said, like, look, something has happened and I've lost a lot of money. While I was investigating the case, I figured out that a very popular bank, not just one card, but thousands of their cards were available online on the dark web. And this man was a victim of that card fraud. What happens in this? The credit card number, the 16-digit number, the expiry date, the name, and the CVV, all are exposed and are put on the dark web for sale. Some hackers would have purchased it, and those guys went online and they shopped. And within 24 hours, 8 lakhs, 8.13 to be precise, was siphoned off. You would say OTP? No, friends. For international transactions, for most of the websites, there is no need to put an OTP. You don't even get an OTP. So it's just not only for our dada dadis, but even we need to know that, look, you can actually disable or set a limit to your international transactions. Second scam, I would say, is the insurance scam. No, I don't want to change it now. Second scam, I would say, is about an insurance scam. And here, our senior citizens are the targets. In this 21 years, as I was telling you, I've seen like many forms of cyber crimes and across all age groups. But our senior citizens are most vulnerable because, like the Gen Zs, the millennials, and the Gen X like me, we may be having certain amount of money, but not as much as what these people have wisely, earned, and then they have like lots of funds and savings with them. And so just imagine how distressing it would be for them when they see it getting washed out under their own eyes. So it's very traumatic for them. So now coming to the insurance scam, what happens over here and what happened with this particular person? This lady, a few years back, she approached me. She had like, she got a call and she was told that, look, the insurance company owes you a lot of money because of a policy your ex-husband, the deceased husband who had passed away, had purchased. She was very elated because she was from a lower middle class, and and of course she had a lot of savings with her that her husband had left behind, and she just followed the instructions. As a result, what happened? She lost all her money, 68 lakh rupees. And she had to sell her own home, and she is now staying in a rented apartment. The third type of a scam, a SIM swap scam. Here the fraudster, in a particular case of a person, he was again like 73 or 74-year-old person, they somehow managed to get his identity documents. They went to a particular telecom operator. They gave the documents saying that, okay, he's unwell and other kind of things, he's an old person, cannot get it. They got a duplicate SIM card issued. The moment they got a duplicate card issued, the senior citizen's original SIM got deactivated. Now, somewhere they had managed to trick the senior citizen to get his banking details. They got the net banking details, and what did then happen? These people started getting the alerts, the fraudsters. And as a result, they wiped out 25 lakh rupees. So it's just not the financial scams, there are romance scams also. Because some of our elderly citizens are lonely, they're alone, they've lost a spouse. What happens in that particular case? They go onto Facebook or some other platform, and over there, they fall in love, and the other person who's actually a man, who's pretending to be a woman, like promises them of a very happy future, and as a result, they take away loads of money. So friends, these are certain kinds of scams that are happening. But what do we need to do? Before we blame the system, or the elders, or we blame anybody else, let's see what we can do. How can we bridge this gap? Can I have those? Okay. Go and tell them that do not trust what you hear, what you see, what you read. This is the age of misinformation. Secondly, tell them that these KYC scams which are threatening you that your account will get frozen or your SIM card will get deactivated, just like my father fell into the trap. These are nothing but these are pure scams. If they want, they can always go to the operator or to the store or to the bank to find out what's the fact. Remote access apps, you might have heard about AnyDesk and Quick Support. They are amazing apps. Because let's say if they are in trouble and you're staying somewhere else, you can tell them, okay, install this app, I will guide through you how to use that particular platform. But when the same thing is asked by a fraudster to do it, you can imagine what hell can break loose. We all get excited to introduce them to the technology. But limit the number of apps you want to give to these dada dadis of ours. Please limit it. Do not overwhelm them with these apps. More the apps, more the chances of crimes. Not just the apps, even platforms or even technology. If my dadi is comfortable with a credit card and she's safe with it, why do I introduce her to net banking? Similarly, let's talk about UPI. The most convenient, most secure, most simple way of using it. The UPI apps. But tell them the golden rule. And the golden rule is that when you want to accept a payment, in order to accept a payment, you don't have to enter a PIN or scan a QR code. Let's say Dada wants to put a flat on rent, or Dadi wants to sell her old sofa. They will just go and put it on a particular portal. Some fraudster will say, oh, I like your flat. No, I don't have to come to see it. I'm just sending you a link. Just click on it and you will get 1 lakh rupees. Or Dadi, hey, I love your sofa. This is a brown color. My brother is going to come and pick it up. Let me give you the 30,000 rupees. They will send either a link or a QR code. Dada or Dadi will scan it. And what will happen? The money that they were supposed to receive, the same amount will go away. And the whole story will continue like in a loop. We all know this basic thing that you're not supposed to share your passwords, your OTP, or any such thing. But let's not do that, because there is something called as smishing, something happening with SMSs, wishing, with voice calls, and phishing via emails or websites. Show them the difference between, like, okay, Amazon.com is a true website, but let's say Amazon, instead of this O, there is a 0 N. Teach them these differences. Help them to make a password in a regional language. And passwords are out. In fact, you should be making passphrases. And why regional languages? Because English ones are very easy to crack. So is it difficult? No, it's not difficult. Let's say you tell Dada, just think about your the first 5 letters or the 2 letters of your favorite song. So let's say, Rang Barse Bige Chunaria. So you take Rang Barse, and what happens over here? Could you change the slide, please? You take Rang Barse over here, just throw up some symbols, just capitalize certain letters, add some numbers, have a separator like hashtag or dash, and then suffix it with the platform's name, let's say for Facebook. Now let him remember the first part and tell him hashtag GM for his Gmail, or GMAIL, whatever he wants it. Don't be surprised if your Dada says, okay, I'll go with the song Sheila Ki Jawani. That's also absolutely okay. Okay? Make them aware of identity theft. Now what's that? You must have heard on the Facebook people saying, hey, Ghansham, how are you and all that. I'm in trouble. Please send me 50,000 rupees or 2 lakh rupees. My wife is in this thing. And they will wholeheartedly give that away. Because our grandparents are very, very trusting in nature. They will trust everyone, which is absolutely no in the cyberspace. So make them aware of these kind of frauds. Ask them to install 2 apps. Since you guys are always excited about apps, tell them to install 2 apps. Zero trust, which means don't trust anyone, and the last is the pause button. Before you do anything, this is good for you also. Before you reply, comment, like, just pause, friends. And lastly, do not trust the online helpline numbers. In fact, you are the best helpline for them. They should be dependent on you because only you can securely bridge this digital generation gap and make them not just cyber literate, but also cyber safe. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much.